dahil po ang isang halal na Pangulo ay binigyan po ng banta ng isang mataas ding opisyal ng gobyerno na may kakayahan din na gawin ito. Kaya kami po, we are not leaving any stone unturned. We will take every effort to protect the President and to investigate everyone that could possibly be involved in this assassination plot of the three high-ranking officials of government.
Yes. Magandang hapon muli sa inyo mga kasama. Nandito naman si Guguds nagbabalik. At kung hindi ka pa nakasubscribe sa ating channel, pa-subscribe na lang po at hit mo na rin yung bell para update ka sa ating mga video. O yan, hindi natin palalampasin, no? Hindi na natin patatagalin. O, nasupalpal, o, tinatanong, ibang sagot. Ibang klase talaga. O, basta nagkampi-kampihan na, wala ka na. Yun ang usapin dito, di umano. Kaya, ibigay na natin yung slide at kayo na mga kasama, ang ang humusga kung ano ang nangyayari dito. Gusto magtanong ni Senador Marcoleta, pero itong mga nagkakampi-kampihan diyan di umano, talaga naman, pinapatayan ng mikropono kung ano-ano mga pinagagawa. O ito na, pasok.
In the totality of evidence, as stated by Honorable Castro, there is an existing case, Mr. Chair, Ong versus Senate, GR number 257401. Which says that the court ruled that the determination of whether a testimony was false or evasive requires an assessment of the totality of evidence presented to determine whether a witness speaks truthfully or merely trying to evade answering the question directly. So I am asking, Mr. Chair, how was the totality of evidence assessed, if ever it was assessed? Ano po yung pinagbatayan? I think we deserve to know how the assessment was made. This concerns the liberty of an individual. Under the Constitution, no one should be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. I think Attorney Lopez deserves to be heard. Ano po yung assessment na ginawa ng chair o ng committee? Kasi po, ang nabasa ko lang o nakita ko, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez wrote the COA explaining the position of the OBP that the audit observation memo is not conclusive, which means, Mr. Chair, Attorney Lopez is merely explaining the nature of an audit observation memo. If I were the lawyer of the OBP, I would have done the same. Because I think the very nature of the AOM, it is not final and executory. Why would the COA abdicate its mandate of auditing the transaction or the funds utilization of the OBP? Why would the committee, Mr. Chair, arrogate upon itself the very mandate and responsibility of the Commission on Audit? Article 9D, Section 2, Paragraph 1 of the 1987 Constitution, Mr. Chair, I will read. The Commission on Audit shall have the power, authority, and the duty to examine, audit, and settle all accounts pertaining to the revenue and receipts of and expenditures or uses of funds and property. Mr. Chair, this constitutional provision jibes with Section 25, Paragraph 2 of Presidential Decree 1445 or the State Audit Code of the Philippines, which says, to develop and implement a comprehensive audit program that shall encompass an examination of financial transactions, accounts, and reports, including evaluation of compliance with applicable laws and regulations. Meaning to say, Mr. Chair, the mandate and authority to audit accounts on the expenses or expenditures of government is only the COA. I believe, it is my respectful submission, Mr. Chair, that this committee usurped that particular mandate and that will now put the Commission on Audit positions in a compromise, Mr. Chair. How will you now assess the authority, the integrity, and the mandate? It is an independent constitutional body which mandate rests upon them. And I think the audit observation memo, Mr. Chair, is still under process by the committee, by the Commission on Audit. Why would we take that responsibility from the Commission on Audit? Why don't we allow the process to proceed and complete that investigation? I am raising a constitutional issue before this committee, Mr. Chair. We cannot arrogate upon ourselves the principal mandate reposed to the COA. It is the Constitution itself which gave them that responsibility, that authority and mandate. Where in Article 7 of the Philippine Constitution, which is the grant of legislative power, can this committee arrogate upon itself that particular mandate? I would like that question to be answered, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Congressman Marcoleta. The chair would like to recognize the Honorable Congressman Paduan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, just to clear it out with regards to the jurisprudence that's cited by the Honorable Marcoleta with regards to Ong versus Senate, that is true. No, that the resolution of the Supreme Court favors
Ang nagtatanong dyan kanina, si Mount Apo daw, ha? Pero kanina po si Mount Apo ang nagtatanong dyan. Pero ngayon, to the rescue ito. To the rescue si Kuya. Ngayon, mangyayari dyan, nung sinagot sila ni Congressman Marcoleta, bigla silang natameme. Pinigilan ngayon nila. Tuloy natin.
Lincoln Ong, but that is question of due process because Lincoln Ong was cited in contempt. Now, question the case of
Mr. Chair, I directed
Andale
the
po.
question to you.
I am not yet finished my manifestation or answer to the query of the Honorable Marcoleta. Mr. Chairman.
Mr.
Please
Chair,
wait
was
to be
the
recognized.
Honorable...
Congressman Marcoleta,
Mr.
wait to
Chairman.
be recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have all
Mr.
the right.
Chair,
Paduano, you
the
have the-
question was addressed to...
Yan pong pangyayaring yan, kinat po yan doon sa coverage. Ina-address yan doon kay Mount Apo. Pero pinasa nito ni Chihuahua dito kay Paduano. Yan po, yung makikita nyo sa video. Ngayon, hindi pinakita sa sa coverage. Ito nangyari, buti may nakakuha. Magaling din yung nakakuha nito, inilabas Tuloy.
Congressman Marcoleta, let me first recognize Congressman Paduano.
Before you answer, before you recognize him,
Congressman
I
Marcoleta,
deserve...
you are out of order.
I deserve,
Kita
Mr.
nyo?
Chair, an answer.
Kita nyo, pinagtulungan dyan si Congressman Marcoleta. Pinagtulungan na yan dyan. Totoo yan.
Sir,
1 minute suspension declared by Chair.
bakit sa'yo?
Yan, may ads lang ho Bakit siyang sumagot kasi? Bakit pinasa doon? Bakit pinasa doon ni chairman? Si Mount Apo ang tinatanong diyan. Ayun na, nagre-react na si Nagre-react na si Mount Apo nagre-react niya, tingnan nyo. Tinulak, oh. Kita nyo na? Buti nga. Ngayon, nagmamagaling-magalingan ka, sumusuyo-suyo ka. Tinulak siya! Tingnan natin ulit, ha? Oh. Alis ka dyan. So, ayan yung mga pangyayari ha, na hindi natin nakikita paminsan-minsan. Kasi pag nag-suspend sila, talagang kinakat. O, eto naman ha, bibigay ko sa inyo mga slide. Ito yung mga slide na bibigay ko sa inyo kung ano nangyari kagabi. Oo, isang magaling na abogado. Oo, anak ito ni Senador Marcoleta. O, kahawig nagsalita na rin. O, dito na natin bibigyan ng magandang slide dyan. O, pasok.
Ang tapang!
Ganun ba? Ayan. O, kumusta naman po kayo dyan? Ako po ay napadaan lang. Punta ako sa mall. Buti na lang napadaan ako dito. At ako ay kaisa ninyo sa pagtatanghal ng katotohanan at paglalaban ng karapatan ng mga kababaihan. Alam niyo naman ang nangyari kay Attorney Zuleika Lopez. Hindi naman siya kriminal. Ipintay. Alam niyo ba, sasabihin ko lang, nung Friday night, 11:56 p.m., tinawagan ako ni BP Sara. Medyo trembling si BP Sara, sabi niya, kasama niyo ba si daddy mo? Kasi andito isang truck ng pulis. Hahakutin na nila si Attorney Lopez at dadalhin sa Women's Correctional. Sabi ko, anak ng tipaklong naman. Hindi naman convict yan, bakit nyo dadalhin doon? Anong nangyari? Kung nabasa nyo lang yung order na nirelease ng House, hindi ko alam, baka kinder ba o prep yung nag-prepare ng order na yun? Hindi ko alam. Kahit siguro prep, hindi maiintindi yung order na ginawa niya. Masyadong, hindi ko alam. Nakakabobo. Hindi ko alam bakit ang mga namumutawi ngayon sa Kongreso, mga convict. O ayun, nandito pala si BP Sara, meron minsan ihahatid sa atin.
Hello po, Vice BP, nandito po kami, kasama ko po si Congressman Marcoleta, yung anak. Si Atty. Paulo po nandito.
Medyo may delay. Ayan.
Yan, si BP Sara. Yan, si BP Sara.
Ayan yung ads Si Ate Sara ay tumawag kagabi
Tumawag na bayan.
Ay, si Sir Angel de Mesa,
Sabi mo, kasalukuyan
VP.
Atty. Paulo.
So, andito po yung mga tao ngayon. Andito rin ang si Attorney Paulo Marcoleta. Guys, online po, nandito si BPN. May mensahe po siya sa'yo. Sa inyong lahat. Ayan, sa ating lahat. VP, take it away. Ayan. Ayan, pakinggan na po natin siya. VP, hey.
Ano kaya yung nangyari sa signal natin ha? Subukan natin antayin natin ng konti. Kasi humina yung signal natin. Tuloy na natin ha. Tuloy. Hindi siya maano dahil nasa cellphone.
Kulita ang nasa harapan po natin mga kababayan. Tumatawag kasi kasalukuyan si VP Sara.
Medyo nag-e-echo mga kasama, no? Hindi siya klarado.
Yan.
Ano yung
So hindi siya klarado, kaya hindi din natin maririnig yung pag-uusap. Diba? Kaya mas maganda
kahit sa anumang panawagan ang pagtanggal sa Pangulong Marcos sa kanyang pwesto.
Yes, magandang hapon sa inyo mga kasama. Hindi ko na patatagalin ha. May kapapasok ho na balita ha. Kayo na ho ang mabahalang humusga o uminindi dito sa video na ito. Pasok.
Has done an initial investigation, and maybe we can report what we have validated with respect to the authenticity of the video, which was aired in many platforms in social media, to make sure that we are giving due process and we are ascertaining that the video is indeed genuine and the utterances of the Vice President. Mr. Director Santiago, can you kindly enlighten the group?
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon po sa inyo, sir. Alam niyo po, mandato ng sa NBI ng ating batas, Republica 10867. May primary jurisdiction po ang NBI to investigate threats on the President down to the Chief Justice. So, hindi po namin to tinetake lightly when we receive the video clips nung sinabi nga ni Vice President Sara, nagkondak agad kami ng investigation. First, I directed my cybercrime unit to investigate the authenticity of that video clippings. of that video clip. So we found out, my investigators found out that the clip is not AI generated, it is not deepfake, it is authentic. So the next step we do is to write yung platform. Happen to be na yung FB, Facebook. So we requested na preservation nung clip. So the Facebook ay kinikip na ang video clip for future reference. Granted na po yung request namin na naka-save na po yun. Now, ang next step namin ngayon is dinedetermine namin whatever action, say criminal or whatever action that we will take against the Vice President, especially the person na sinasabi niya na inutusan na niya para ipapatay si President Marcos, the First Lady, and the Speaker.
Thank you.
Ang investigasyon po na gagawin ng gobyerno ukol sa bagay na ito ay agad-agaran. Importante hong malaman kung ano ang mga naging hakbang para po kumuha ng serbisyo ng isang mamamatay tao na nagpaplano ng masamang balakin sa ating mahal na Pangulo. At gagawin po ng National Bureau of Investigation ang lahat ng mga hakbang para matuntun ang identity nito, kasama po ang pag-i-issue po ng subpoena kay Vice President Sara na humarap sa NBI para bigyan po ng kaliwanagan ang kanyang mga pananalita. Dahil po diretsuhan niyang sinabi na siya po ay kumuha na ng tao, na siya pong gagawa ng pagpatay hindi lang po sa Pangulo, kasama po ang ating First Lady at ang ating Speaker of the House. Hindi po tama pong pananalita na nanggagaling po sa napakataas na opisyalis ng ating bayan. Kailangan po agarang investigasyon at meron po tayong paraan sa batas na mag-issue ng subpoena ang National Bureau of Investigation para po paharapin ang ating Vice Presidente at magbigay linaw sa kanyang mga sinabi.
Okay. Are we going to hear from the Prosecutor General?
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Well, to add to what Undersecretary Jesse Andres and Director Santiago said earlier, this is something that cannot be taken lightly. In light of the fact that the one who made those statements and made those utterances is the sitting Vice President. And the threat is directed against our Chief Executive, the wife, and the Speaker of the House. So as far as the Office of the Prosecutor General is concerned, the National Prosecution Service, we being part of the executive branch are mandated to closely work with the National Bureau of Investigation and other law enforcement agencies in making sure that whatever cases, case or cases may be filed later on are something which will be backed up and be supported by evidence. So we have been closely in coordination with the National Bureau of Investigation and with other agencies to ascertain who may be held liable. But I think the immediate threat right now, as mentioned by Undersecretary Andres, is to go after and try to track the assassin or assassins, because this is not something that you can just simply dismiss. Coming from a sitting Vice President who is just an earshot from the presidency, if she decides to run, it is something na titingnan natin yung motivation. We have to look at the motive for doing it. But again, we have to look at all of these in the context of all the things that are going on and cannot simply isolate the situation to the statements that were made. So we have to be very careful in going over the events leading to the statements that were pronounced or made by the Vice President.
Thank you. Now
Dagdag ko lang.
Wait.
Ating pong alalahanin na kamakailan lang ay nagbigay din po ng pananalita ang ating Vice President na gusto niyang pugutan ng ulo ang ating Pangulo. Tinanggap po namin na salita yon in a metaphorical way. isang simbolismo lang ng kanyang galit. Ngunit sa kanya pong bagong pananalita, hindi po maaring isang tabi lang yan at kailangan po ng ating gobyerno na kumilos dahil po ang isang halal na Pangulo ay binigyan po ng banta ng isang mataas ding opisyal ng gobyerno na may kakayahan din na gawin ito. Kaya kami po, we are not leaving any stone unturned. We will take every effort to protect the president and to investigate everyone that could possibly be involved in this assassination plot of the three high-ranking officials of government.
Thank you. Let's open the floor to questions. First one is Chona Yu, People's Journal.
Sir, yung subpoena, na-serve na po ba ito or kailan po ito isa-serve kay Vice President Duterte?
Ngayon po ay ginagawa na naman at isa-serve na agad immediately.
And then also, sir, yung kaso, anong pwedeng ikaso kay Vice President Duterte doon sa kanyang mga statement?
Ang Vice Presidente po ay maraming posibleng legal liabilities sa kanya pong mga nagawang pananalita at mga aksyon na ginawa kasabay nito. Hindi po namin sinasara ang pinto sa mga malalaking kaso, ngunit ayon po sa due process, kailangan pong isaganap muna namin ang kumpletong investigasyon. We have to go into every possible angle, hear testimonies, collate previous testimonies given, and do a forensic study that will fortify all possible cases. But we assure you, the full force of the law will be used in dealing with this matter.
Sir, NBI, sir, may lead na po ba kayo sa assassins? Kung ano yung profile maybe or background?
Actually, wala pa po. Yan ay malilinawan pagka pumunta, sumagot sa subpoena namin si Vice President Sara at siya po magpaliwanag kung sino yun.
Okay. Next question, Ivan Mayrina, GMA 7. Mike, please.
Good afternoon. Yung pagtukoy ho natin sa assassin, assuming matukoy natin siya, ano ho magiging pananagutan niya sa batas kung wala pa namang nangyaring krimen?
Marami pong legal liabilities ang tao, lalo na pag meron pong ma-establish na conspiracy to commit an attempt on the life of our chief executive. Right now, we are open to all possible crimes, and we are not looking at one particular offense, criminal offense. But as I said, definitely there will be criminal and other legal liabilities that will be enforced against the plotters and those who will execute it and those who took part in it. So we will complete the investigation and definitely we will file the appropriate cases. But we will not identify the particular offense at this point in time.
Earlier, the Vice President issued a statement saying that her statement was taken out of its logical context. Ano ho masasabi niyo doon?
Well, as I said, gagawin po natin ang lahat ng isang patas at malawak na investigasyon. We will put into proper context her statements. But I simply recall that when she answered certain questions and she declared the plot to assassinate the president, she even immediately added, "This is no joke. This is no joke. I did it. And I wanted to make sure that this person will do it to its completion." And again, we will give the Vice President a chance to explain.
But in your view, given that phrase, no joke, that she wasn't joking, that leaves no room for the statement to be taken out of context.
Definitely, we will take it as a serious threat because it came from the mouth of the sitting Vice President.
Thank you.
Okay. Eden Santos, Net 25.
Good afternoon po, sir. On the part of the Vice President naman po, meron po ba kayong information na meron ding threat sa buhay niya?
Maybe we can ask the law enforcement agents to
On the part of the NBI, hindi kami nakakatanggap ng any information regarding the threat on the life of the President, Vice President.
Kaya po niya nasabi yon dahil parang gusto rin niyang protektahan yung sarili niya against naman po dun sa planong pagpapatay din sa kanya, sort of. Wala po kayong ganong intelligence
Nawawala yung network natin, ano? Antayin natin, ha? Antayin natin. Nawawala. Ano ba yan? Bakit? Okay. Antayin natin, ha? Mihina ho kasi yung network
You will
natin ay
observe
humina.
everything that is being done is through legal processes and legal proceedings. If ever the Vice President is being held accountable, it is in a legal process. And it is all done within the bounds of the Constitution and the law.
Thank you. Sam Medinilla, Business Mirror.
Tatanong ko lang po. Can the Vice President face possible preventive suspension while the investigation is ongoing?
First, the Vice President is not immune from suit. She can be the subject of any criminal administrative case, and the Ombudsman also has authority to do its duty to discipline and to take necessary measures to deliver on its mandate as the investigator of all high-ranking government officials. So it is within the authority of the Ombudsman to act on this matter as well.
Okay. Harley Valbuena, DZME.
Good afternoon. For NBI po. Sir, how soon can we expect an arrest or detention of someone over this matter? Because I remembered way back 2020, there was a teacher who randomly posted on social media, he offered 50 million pesos reward for anyone who can kill the then President Rodrigo Duterte. So I'm just curious, can we expect the same response over this matter?
Yes, we are aware of that case. Actually, it is the NBI who arrested that person, Mr. Romel Mas. He's a school teacher who offered 50 million pesos to kill PRRD. Arestado agad siya, but then later parang parang pinatawad na rin ni PRRD. This time, out of courtesy, masasabi natin, out of courtesy, due process, hindi po namin agad inaresto si Vice President dahil siya ay Vice President, napakataas na opisyal. So we are giving her chance, due process, to answer yung ibinibintang sa kanya. No, this is by way of subpoena, and we will ask her to appear before our office within 5 days from today. Appear siya sa amin, sagutin niya yung aming mga tanong para mabigyan ng pagkakataon ng ating Vice President.
Okay. Ira Panganiban, DZRJ.
Yes, 2 questions. First question is, it's an if-then situation. If this happens to me, then this is what I will do. What's the legal implication of that? If something happens, the statement of Vice President Sara Duterte was, if something happens to me, then I will do this. What's the legal implication of that?
The important thing that everyone should understand from those statements is the lack of recourse to legal and judicial remedies. That is what is appalling in this situation, where a high-ranking official would not have recourse to legal and judicial remedies to seek redress. So all of us are governed by the rule of law, and no one is above the law. If there is a need to exact justice for a criminal act, then it has to be through the legal and judicial process. We cannot take the law into our own hands. No one should espouse that kind of thinking. And that is why I strongly believe that that exposes her to criminal liabilities.
Question number 2, she claims that one of her security personnel attempted to take her life. Is the NBI, the Department of Justice, the government looking into this allegation?
Parang wala kaming natanggap na ganyan na sinabi niya na one of her security aid. Remember that the Vice President, even the Vice President, is being protected by our Presidential Security Command.
There was part of that statement in her ranting.
We will go over that. But i-clarify ko lang yung napakadelikado yung sinasabi niya na pag ako namatay. Take note. Pag ako namatay, hindi niya sinabing pag ako napatay. Magkaiba yun, yung mga Tagalog dito, no? Magkaiba yun. Pag ako namatay, paano kung na-overdose siya, nalason siya ng, wala namang kasalanan ng mga agencies, wala namang kasalanan ng president, bakit papapatay niya ang president? No? Kaya iba yung pag ako napatay. Ayan, somebody assassinated her. Papapatay niya yung presidente. Magkaiba eh. Pinag-aaralan namin mabuti yung statement niya.
Katrina Domingo, ABS-CBN 2.
Sir, in the Vice President's rant, she also mentioned that former Communications Secretary Harry Roque is already out of the country. Can she also be held liable for withholding knowledge as to where Mr. Roque is?
Wala naman. Kung umalis na si Roque, kung hindi naman sila accused pa in a certain crime na mapapagsabihan natin na in conspiracy silang dalawa.
Sir, another question. The former president of the IBP mentioned that she has violated Canon 1 for lawyers. Will that be grounds for her disbarment?
Pwede. Yes.
Is the government
Pero
inclined to file a disbarment case against her?
Ayan, kasama na yan. Yun nga sinabi ni Yusek Andres, lahat ng legal liabilities. Mananagot siya sa lahat ng legal aspect. Sinabi pa niya na she is acting as a lawyer for Lopez. And that cannot be done. Hindi siya pwedeng mag-practice. Ang general rule is that public officials cannot practice their profession. No? Pwede yun kung pinapayagan at hindi in conflict sa kanyang opisina. Remember that ang iniimbestigahan ay ang opisina ni VP Sara. Therefore, she cannot act as counsel sa opisina niya na siya ang iniimbestigahan. May conflict. Ganun po yun. Pero yun mga matter na yun, light na lang yun about yung siya being a lawyer. Pero yung utterances niya na pagbabanta, yan ang pinupukpukan namin at siniserious namin na consider.
Yeah, we're actually, if I may add, as mentioned earlier, we're looking at all angles.
So ayan mga kasama, kayo na po ang bahala. Intindihin nyo na lang po kung ano yung mga pinagsasabi nila rito, yung statement nila. Hanggang sa muli. Bye-bye!